Have you ever met Hanako at Embers? I have one time. And that was it, I didn't need to do it again. Embers is an interesting location because it's only used in a certain part of Cyberpunk's story. Embers is a pretty cool location though, even though it's not really utilised. And that's because there's actually an entire level of Embers which has evidently been cut from the game. So today I want to have a look at Embers' mysterious removed level, speculate about what this could have been, how this might have tied into the game's story, and generally just having a good old chin wag, as they say. But guys, before we get into today's video, I just really quickly want to plug Streamily. You can find this place using the video's description, and this is a website where you can get signed Cyberpunk 2077 prints through various voice actors and voice actresses. So if you like a particular character in Cyberpunk's story, go ahead and get yourself a nice piece of signed Cyberpunk merch. Follow the Streamly link using this video's description in order to check it out. Alright, so anyway, Embers. First of all, I fucking love the design of Embers. I think it's such a nice building. It's very traditionally kind of 1920s. You know, you see a lot of these in sort of New York. Embers is, of course, right at the top, and you can see you can actually look into this place, like, pretty much perfectly. However, we're going to be using the elevator because we can indeed unlock this with Unlock Night City, which I'm very accustomed to now after the Arasaka video, which is coming very soon, so just be patient. So this lift is obviously disabled in free roam, but I've re-enabled it even though this button doesn't actually work. So what we can do is clip inside this elevator and actually take note that there's an additional level which doesn't exist when you go here. That's because we have two level 1s. We have a level 1 street, which is where we're at currently, you know, here. And then we have another level 1 street. So if we were to click on this level, you can see that the game kind of shits itself for a little bit, but the lift will start moving. So eventually the lift actually opens up onto a brick wall. So that's always cool. But you know, what's actually behind this brick wall? Well, there's actually nothing, to be honest with you. This is the interior of Embers, or the inaccessible levels which we can't access. As you can see, the building is basically just hollow apart from the restaurant. However, this additional level does just appear to come out here. At no real point of interest, just a random part of the building. But as you will see in the Arasaka Tower no-clip exploration coming either Friday or Saturday, this is pretty common with lifts in Cyberpunk 2077. Does this mean anything? I'm not entirely sure, but we'll bear it in mind. One thing though, which is very exciting about this level, is the fact that if you were to start no-clipping a little bit up, you can start to see that NPCs are actually spawning. We have tables of NPCs sitting, talking, being headless. Some of them are eating some kind of skewer. Some of them are sat holding drinks, staring into each other's soul. Some more of them eating. And if you were to clip a little bit further down, you can also see that we have loads of floating plates set with cutlery, set with skewers. Notice how all the plates are skewers. It's pretty interesting as well how this NPC has some kind of tablet. It almost looks like she's, you know, supposed to be greeting people as they come into Embers. Maybe, you know, some kind of maitre d' or something. It just seems a bit strange. It's a very unique NPC that I don't think I've seen anywhere else. And if you scan her as well, she does indeed come up as a waitress. So who knows what's going on with this? And of course, there's absolutely no collision in this place. An extremely aggressive culling, as you can see. But what we are witnessing right here looks to me like cut content. Oh my god. So what's particularly strange about these floating NPCs is that initially I thought that maybe they're supposed to be spawned in Embers itself. You know, there's tables up there. There's chairs which are set out for people to have dinner. However, even in the mission when you do go and meet Hanako, there are 0 NPCs that spawn in this place, that eat, that do anything, really. The only NPC from this floating level that actually makes it up to Embers in this mission is the waitress that we saw with the little tablet. All of these tables, though, remain empty throughout the entire mission in the game's main story. So really, this this creates more questions than answers. Does this suggest that Embers was maybe supposed to be accessible in free roam? Or I think more realistically, more excitedly, is that this is the remnant of some kind of additional dining area, some kind of lower floor that never got completed, and these spawning NPCs and random plates, cutlery, skewers, whatnot, are the only remnants of this cut second floor. And also, to really hammer this point home, if you were to have a look at the exterior of Embers, take note of how the playable area looks like this. It has these big windows, it's very much separated from the rest of the building, as in it has this concrete barrier which is preventing it from molding into one like we have down here. And also on this corner we have these huge windows, big rectangular windows, which if you look right below is actually kind of replicated. We can see that on the floor below, which is never accessible by the player, we have a pretty similar thing on the go. We have a concrete barrier separating it from the rest of the building, and we also have this little corner piece right here, which looks again pretty similar to Embers itself. Maybe there was supposed to be an additional 2 windows right about here. Who knows? Because if we click back into this imaginary floor, we can see that this lines up perfectly with where these NPCs are floating. So I know it's very easy to put these floating, spawning random NPCs down to a variety of different variables, some of which are boring, some of which are pretty exciting, and it may be quite tempting to just brush this off as some simple cyberpunk jank. However, let me provide you with one big slab of information which may sway your opinion. I'm sure you've seen this place in Night City. This is called Metal Heaven. It's supposed to be a gigantic music shop that actually has quite a bit of lore attached to it. However, this location is not usable in Cyberpunk 2077, even though we have an extremely low poly version of this shop that exists. So you can never get inside this music shop. However, if you were to no clip inside of it, at certain points of the day, you can actually find NPCs that spawn in here, and in a very similar fashion to how they spawn in Embers, these Metal Heaven NPCs are dancing, playing instruments, cheering, and they pretty much always spawn in the same space. So even though CDPR has taken the interior of this place out, the NPCs are left behind. I don't know why that is, maybe it's more complicated to remove NPCs than meshes, I'm not an expert, but that could explain why Embers has a similar thing going for it. So guys, what do you think? Do you think that Embers was supposed to have a second restaurant floor, or do you think this is just some weird development trickery? Let me know guys in the comment section down below. Check out Streamly using the video's description. Thank you so much, and as always, I'll catch you lot in a bit.